are preparing New Zealand lobster tails. Andy, how big are these?
Let's see, these are 20 to 24 ounce lobster tails, and as you can see, absolutely beautiful colors on these. The waters that they're coming from around New Zealand, very cold waters, and this type of lobster is absolutely beautiful. It will turn red after we cook it. Great flavor, very sweet, nice tender meat to it, and just real pleasant to eat. And if you want to impress some customer or some guests that you have, then this is definitely the way to go.
All right, I noticed that there's a little bit of color difference in one tail from the other. Do you know what the cause of that is?
Yeah, well, if you look at the tail meat right here, if you can see the edge of that, this one is very white, and this one's almost got a little bit of a pink color to it. The reason for that being is the diet of the lobster itself. This one is eating a lot of just kind of plankton, a lot of things on the bottom of the ocean. This one is probably has been eating a lot of shrimp and other shellfish, so it can definitely change the color of the meat, just like a lot of people's diets kind of affect the way that their skin tone can be sometimes. Same thing with lobsters, it only affects them that much more. So this diet produces, with the shrimp and other shellfish, they'll definitely get some pink lobster meat. It doesn't happen a lot, but every so often you'll see a lobster tail that'll have that color meat to it. So it's not a bad thing, it's just a little bit different. It doesn't affect the taste or the texture at all. It's just a different appearance to it. And another thing to notice here is the drastic difference in the colors. The shells itself, this one's got much more of a purplish violet color, and this one has much more of a burgundy color. Sometimes, depending on the waters that they're coming from, can dictate the different colors, and it's a wide variety. A lot of Maine lobsters, you can have a wide variety of colors from browns and greens to sometimes even a blue or a white lobster. So just like all around the world, there's just a lot of different varieties that you can get. Sometimes they look exactly the same, and sometimes you might get one that looks a little bit different from the other.
Great, great. And what are we doing with these today?
Well, we're just going to do the easiest way possible. We're just going to boil these tails up. They're going to take a little bit longer, so what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to cut right down the middle of the tail, so I'm going to have two halves on both of these because they're so big I want them to cook evenly. Bring a pot of water to a boil, and after about 8 or 9 minutes, check it, see if they're done, and we'll come back and we'll see how good they taste.
Now, these are really big tails. Do you have any idea, like, what size of lobster these might have come off of?
Well, these tails, they take so long to get this size. These lobsters, they say for every pound that a lobster grows, it takes about 5 years. Now, these tails being as big as they are, so it's a 20 to 24 ounce tail, they're probably coming off of about a 10 to 15 pound lobster, depending on the size of the lobster. So as you can see, we've got this is probably a female lobster tail. And the way that you can tell is these flippers here, these are designed to keep in the lobster eggs, or the roe on the lobster tails. And a lot of the times they'll have a much wider body on the bottom. This is a male lobster tail. You can see these little flippers and fins don't quite cover nearly as much as these, just because their primary purpose is just feeling the ground on the bottom and swimming. So you're not getting more or less meat if you get a female lobster tail versus a male lobster tail. The shape of the shell definitely dictates a little bit differences there. So if you can't request a male or female lobster tail just because it becomes very difficult for us at that point. We notice no difference in the taste. Some people swear by it, but we've been sampling a lot of this food for a long time. It tastes exactly the same. So it's to your preference on that one. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous tails, and let's get ready to cook these up.